Well, welcome back.
What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all so much for being here. I am, again, in my natural habitat. This is where, I'm not saying this is where I belong, but this is where my creativity is born. This is where, I take all my experiences in my life and, I express myself.
I express myself through my work.
It's art itself to have experience and to explain that experience in a way that can really uplift somebody.
Well, I'm out, guys. If this is what's cool now, I think I'm done.
Today's podcast is going to be a little motivational, you feel me?
Motivation.
I feel like a lot of my videos be a little too silly. I'm always trying to use humor in a way to describe how I'm feeling. But this podcast is going to be straight up, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, let's get straight to what I'm going to talk about. But actually, before I get to that, let me pour me some tea, because I brought me some tea and I forgot. So let me get that set up right quick, if you don't mind.
I'm not.
Just want to kick back with y'all, you feel me? I'm doing something new. I usually don't get this comfortable on camera, but, you got to change it up a little bit, you feel me? So before I pour my tea, I just want to give a shout out to somebody, to my boy, Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson?
I'm going to tell y'all a funny story about him right quick after I pour this tea. All right, hold on. Where my tea bag right quick? Hold on, I got to put y'all on with something.
Would you like some tea?
This right here is goji berry. So anybody who is interested in trying to find some good tea, but this shit hella good for you. It's a good detox. And another thing that I want to put you on Amazon, it's like $50, $60. Manuka honey. So right here, this is like condensed, pure concentrated honey.
Bears love honey.
So you don't even need that much. Where's my spoon? I'm gonna be hella mad if I did not bring my spoon. Oh.
I'm legally blind.
Get straight to my shout out.
Finally.
Andre is somebody who I would never forget, because he would always be like,
The humble words that Andre Johnson said.
at him.
You got no common sense.
He would always say that to me, and I kind of felt like I was hella dumb. I'm like, Andre, what you mean? I feel like I'm kind of smart.
Tough love, playboy.
Andre, if you watching, just want to say, I appreciate you, brother. You was always that funny ass dude in class, always making us laugh, always cheesing, you feel me? Always spreading good vibes. You and Ray Vaughn, I don't know if Ray Vaughn watches my podcast, but Miss Ray Vaughn, if you there, I just really wish you nothing but the best. In all honesty, he has always been somebody who always lit up the room, you feel me? So yeah, Andre, if you're watching, Happy New Year's. Ray Vaughn, if you're watching, Happy New Year's. And honestly, everybody that's watching, Happy New Year's. You feel me? Stay safe, and, hopefully this year gonna be a good one. So let's get straight to what I'm gonna talk about.
Now to business. Yes.
Today we find ourselves in a world filled with challenges and uncertainty. It is easy to feel lost or overwhelmed. However, amidst this chaos, it's crucial to remember the importance of dwelling in our purpose. Purpose is more than just a career or a goal. It's a driving force that gives our lives meaning. It's what motivates us to rise each day and strive for something greater. In troubled times, our purpose can serve as a guiding light, helping us navigate through difficulties. And I feel like a lot of people give up that light because as soon as they see darkness, they feel like, my kind isn't welcomed, if you know what I mean. I just want to say that the way that we were brought into this earth was so miraculous. Just think about it. Out of all the billions and billions of sperm cells that, were lingering around and all that, we were the chosen ones. God chose us to be born, to go through this life. We are the entire universe in the form of a human being going through a humanly experience. And I always say that because we are more than just physical matter. There's so much more beyond our surface, I said this 2 podcasts ago, but it's crazy to know that there are more cells in our brain than there are stars in the constellations.
This is some good stuff, man.
So that's crazy. That just shows you that we are not just average, we are different than animals.
Man, I love Animal Planet.
So yeah, moving on. So this purpose is what motivates us to rise each day and strive for something greater.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
In troubled times, our purpose can serve as a guiding light, helping us navigate through difficulties. And I feel like it's really important to say this. Like, you know how there's always that northern star that people used to rely on, and like, you know, they're always lost and not knowing where to go. And, you know, back then people would look at that star and they would head in that direction, and oftentimes they find what they need to find. So I want to say that our purpose kind of serves as a northern star. Like, it truly gives you that blueprint or that push to like keep going in that direction. I just feel that it's so hard to see that northern star when there's just so much light pollution, if you know what I mean. Like, I want to compare that light pollution with our thoughts. Like, you know how we can't see the stars because there's so much pollution? Well, oftentimes we can't see our purpose because of all the thoughts in our head. So it's really important to like truly ground yourself and know and ask yourself, what is my purpose?
Shit, I don't know.
2, reflecting on your values. To dwell in your purpose, start by reflecting on your core values. What truly matters to you? Is it family, the community that you have, the creativity that just lingers in your mind?
Creativity.
Or perhaps making a difference in the world. As a young kid, I always wanted to be a superhero. And I mean that, like, I used to always tell myself, I want to save people. I want to help people. That's when I started like doing a lot of poetry, because I just knew that words were powerful. Okay. I had a thing for words. Like, I always loved writing, not because it makes me look cool or that it makes me fit in with a certain group. I just knew that one day my words will have power. And I just told myself that one day I'm going to get paid for my voice. One day I'm going to get paid for spreading love and kindness and positivity, because our voice is not just these words, it's positive vibration. It's frequency that is coming from a source, the source that created all of us, every single person watching this. Like, we're all created from the same source, and what connects us is that frequency. So I always remind people to use your voice, to always speak up. Oftentimes we can't bring justice in the world, but we can speak justice. Like, our words are like swords, and if you swing in the right direction, we can slay the monster, like on everything I love. When we align our daily actions with our values, we cultivate a sense of fulfillment that can sustain us during these tough times. So that's like honestly the theme of this podcast, is finding purpose during troubling times, because with everything that we are seeing today, I'm not trying to say that it's going to get worse before it ever gets better, but we are going to see things that our ancestors would have imagined seeing. Like, I'm not trying to say that I have like this magical ball where I can see everything, but you know, when you can connect the dots and you see, you know, the signs, minor signs, major signs, you just, you know, it just makes you really think that I'm going to be tested. I'm going to lose my freedoms. I might lose my health. I might lose loved ones, you know, so on and so on. Like,
This is depressing.
just preparing yourself for what may happen. And I don't want people to think that I'm always thinking negative, because I'm a very positive person. I'm always thinking good things happening instead of bad things happening.
Most of the time.
However, you need a balance. Sometimes you do have to prepare yourself for what may come. So sometimes mentally you have to tell yourself that, you know, I might get beat down, but I'm going to get back up. And that's one thing that I want to highlight is resilience. I feel like one thing that I can't thank God enough for is being resilient. Always getting back up. You know how many times my TikTok got shut down, but I just kept on going back. Like, so much content that just got deleted and I couldn't even recover. So basically, just get back up. No matter how many times you fall down, you know, like Denzel Washington said, or I forgot who said this, but when you fall on your back so you can look up and get back up. Because oftentimes we're falling, you know, face planting onto the floor and just giving way to all of our weaknesses. But if you can look up, you can get up. 3, setting intentions. This is really important to me, like, in all honesty. Set clear intentions. What small steps can you take today to live in alignment with your purpose? And before I go to the next point, we are always being thrown off balance. There is something that's always going to be there that's going to test you and try to, like, I'm not saying call you out on your bullshit. You know, with like the devil on your left shoulder and the angel on your right shoulder, is like whenever you think of something, you're getting 2 different perspectives. So I feel like I go through that a lot. Like, whenever I set these intentions, there's always this little whisper in my head that says, you're not capable, or who are you trying to like better yourself? You remember what you did last year? You remember what you did a couple years ago? You remember this, you remember that, you remember how you said this, so on and so on. It just takes you down a rabbit hole of just regret. And yeah, that's when people oftentimes give up, because they have such a pure heart that the guilt is just too overwhelming. So just be easy on yourself. So there's so many small steps that we can do, such as volunteering or simply reaching out to a loved one. That truly is like major key. I know it might sound cliche, like, oh, reach out to a loved one or reach out to a neighbor. But truly, you don't understand the ripple effect that you may cause just by calling someone and just wishing them well, sending them love and peace and just all the good things. Like, there are so many people suffering. Like, there's so many different levels of suffering, but there are so many people suffering. So you never know what your voice or the words that you say can do. It can truly transform people. I feel like my life has been transformed by so many people who I have heard over the years with all the positive things that they had to say, you know? So never underestimate your voice. Always, you know, be that ripple effect for somebody. 4, embracing mindfulness. So to me, this is major key. If you are one of those people who set big goals during New Year's, this is very important. So tap in. Mindfulness is another powerful tool. By being present and aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can better understand how to respond to challenges. And the reason why I say this is for those who make goals during New Year's is because we'll set these goals, right? And as soon as it hits the New Year's, you know, we still thinking about these goals like, yo, I'm going to execute, you feel me? I'm going to do everything I told myself I'm going to do. And then what, like a week after, you kind of give up on all your goals. You go back to those bad habits and you fall back into those patterns, you know? As human beings, we're always influenced by patterns. It's because patterns are frequencies, and, you know, being human beings, we are frequency. So it's so easy to go back to the old ways, to those bad ways of living. And you know that this way of living is toxic and that it's not guiding you to where you want to go. So by incorporating mindfulness, you truly keep reminding yourself what you want to do and who you want to become. That's where goals are achieved, because when we set goals, we'll just set them and we're not mindful of them. What's the point of having a dream without a goal? I forgot what song it was, but it's like, what's a dream without a goal? It's just a dream. So like, I know I have this up here, dreaming until it's your reality, but I told myself that I have to manifest into my reality. Sometimes dreaming is not enough. So I told myself, no more dreaming. It's time to go out there and get it.
More power to you.
So try incorporating mindfulness practice into your daily routine, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a moment to breathe deeply. When you meditate, it's not just about breathing, you feel me? Which is very important. Yes, meditation is breathing, but it's being mindful of your breathing. It's called conscious breathing. So when you're meditating, you're going to have a lot of thoughts pop up in your head. All the regrets, all the things that you could have done, that you should have done, that you would have done, that what if this happened, what if that happened, what if I did this, what if I did that? You know what I'm talking about. Just that. It's so crazy. Like, I'm still trying to silence that. But when you meditate and that is going off in your head, meditation is when you're aware of it and you're not becoming too attached to it. It's literally letting it go. It's like seeing a projector screen and you are literally just seeing your thoughts, but, you know, as an image. So oftentimes when an image pops up in your mind, we're like dwelling over it, we're staring at it, and we're like pondering whether or not it's true. But sometimes you just can't focus on everything. Like, meditation is mindfully breathing and focusing on things that you know is beneficial for your soul. So when I meditate and I'm breathing and I see a negative thought or I hear a negative thought in my mind, I acknowledge it and I let it slide. You feel me? I let it go by. But when a positive thought pops up in my head or like a beautiful image, then that's when I stare at it. I glance upon it. I feed the soil with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where true manifestation comes from. Like, when you see it in your mind and you just add water to the soil. That's all. That's the best way I could describe it. So again, with New Year's around the corner, oftentimes we fail at our goals because our goals are not at the forefront of our mind. It's so easy for these goals to slip down the drain, you know? Like, it's so hard to hold on to something that is beneficial, but it's so easy to hold on to something that is bad for you. It's so interesting how the world works.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Whenever I wake up and my alarm goes off and I'm like, fuck, I have to do this again. I have to get up. I have to work another 8 hours, which I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful to have an income, but you know, you lose that motivation and you just feel like, you know, you're stuck in this cycle of just, you know, working day in and day out and not doing what you love, but you're just doing what you have to do to get by. So what honestly helps me get up and have a smile on my face is my goals and my dreams literally at the forefront of my mind. Every time I wake up, I see my northern star and I tell it that I'm going to meet you one day. Like, I don't know when it's going to be. I just know that one day, yeah, I'm going to see my northern star. Like, I'm going to come face to face with it. And I'm going to be so happy when I do, because yeah, like being able to taste the fruits of your hard labor is probably one of the most amazing feelings in the world. I truly don't want anything given to me, and I hope you feel the same way. True success is going through that grind. It's truly like being stripped of everything, but still being able to achieve. And also like staying resilient is so important. Like during these troubling times, like I thank God for helping me always get back up on my feet. Like there's so many times where I give in, you know, I give into those dark thoughts and I give into procrastination and all that, just that toxic shit, you know what I mean? But I don't know, God, like I always experience God picking me back up. Like I know I don't see him physically, you know, but sometimes it brings tears to my eyes to see how many times God has came through for me. Like my mom knows, like my mom has seen me down so many times, like, you know, things that happen in my life, but you know, I have a beautiful life. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, my life is terrible, but I've been knocked down quite a few times to where like I lost my smile for like months. Like people are like, bro, you don't smile anymore. You're not that positive guy that I used to know. Just to end it all, it's just God is the most high for a reason.